What's up everybody, it's Heems, and guys, we're back with another reaction video. It's time to pick back up with Orb on the Movements of Earth, episode 15, Is It My Turn? We saw the last episode, guys, and unfortunately, Oxy and Badeni, they didn't make it. But then the tempo picks up even further as Jolenta is next on the hunt. Make sure everybody hit that like button, subscribe to the channel at HeemzReacts. Don't forget to check us out on HeemzCast Gaming. Make sure you also go to Patreon. The first and the last episode are free, but everything else in between is $1.50 a month, but you get everything raw, uncut, no filters. Share the video, share the channel on all social media platforms. Let's check it out.
Sate, 担当直入2機構。なぜ逃がした?
Oh, damn! Antoni ain't waste no time. Like, already, damn. Who saw him? Damn. Who's this? Or did he just confess? Maybe he just confessed it.
あなたは真実が何であろうと彼女を処刑するつもりだったでしょう。
Of course, because they already didn't like Nowak. They already had their plans one way or another. Whether the incident that took place with Jolenta being affiliated with Badeni or Oxy, or just one slip up on Nowak's in any form or in any capacity.
頭の悪い答えだ。私は頭の悪い奴が嫌いだから少し頭を使わせてやる。
Coming from the person that just whooped my ass just for trying to help free somebody, you talking about me being unthoughtful?
不確実な状況下での意思決定はまず最悪を想定すべきだ。冤罪はあってはならない。だが冤罪を恐れて異端を逃がすなどもっとあってはならない。なぜなら冤罪で死ぬのは一人だが、異端を逃がすと最悪の場合、人類が皆死ぬかもしれんからだ。少しは事態を理解したか？我々の時。
Now you're probably like, don't you dare look at me like, you better not go AWOL on me either. Otherwise, we could run the hands and have you laying right here next to your homie. Like,
君は真剣な犯罪者じゃない。君が逃がしたのは全人類の敵かもしれんのだぞ。
汝の敵を愛せ。こ
ooh.
の言葉に僕は気にしてる。
What you gonna do against that?
そうか。バカがよくする大きく間違った解釈だ。神学を学び直せ。ノバクにこのことは？
まだ連絡してません。
ではこう伝えろ。ヨレンタは異端だった。さらに逃亡を図り、その際人質を取り負傷者を出したので、やむなくその場で処刑さ。
Why you lying, Antonio? Why the fuck you lying? Oh my god. Stop always lying.
された。その後、死体を正式な手続きにのっとり、火にかけた。位牌を川に流す前に焼死体を見せて、ノバクに娘は死んだと思わせろ。
Damn!
焼死体なんてどこにも。
Oh, you.
目の前にあるだろ。こいつを今から灰にする。
I'm not the smartest man, but then they did say they would bring the ashes, so it's like he would really not truly know that was his daughter or not, and just to see how he's going to react. And all this is just to trigger Nowak to slip up and do something. He's already under high scrutiny, but depending on his reaction after that, it could be like this dude here or something worse. Oh man, is this from Oxy and Badeni?
じゃあ火にかけといて。
Oh!
Nowak-san!
Oh, so they just sat there and like the timing of that, because when we saw Oxy and Badeni get hung, that was at that time frame, but like what we saw was pretty much like a a pre-setup or prior to before it all like collides or actually is on the same time frame.
今第8処刑場で
何
その
何早く言ってよ。今日はもう家に帰りたいのよ。
娘さんが異端として捕まって脱走を図ったので今処刑されているようです。
Now, of course, we see the dramatization of the fire, or how, like, the fire is ablazed at this point. But you don't think he could differentiate between the sides? Like, he knows his daughter like the back of his hand, right?
気の毒に
Oh, fuck you, man. Oh, he gonna come back and tell you he a piece of shit.
賢い娘さんだったんだって。私は反対したんだがな。まだ将来があったのに。そうだ、君にこれを。これだけは燃やさないでくれ。
To make the situation more believable, but with his military experience, because you still have to see like the circumference or the composition of the body, like to identify between the two. And then what I'm wondering too, before it panned to him witnessing the body burn, how much time had elapsed between him arriving there to actually seeing the body being engulfed in the flames to being able to identify in between. Antoni, he a mother. I usually like for Nowak. I'm like, it's a love and hate for Nowak, but I'm like, I hope Nowak does get his Nowak on and take care of this dude. Something, anything.
レと頼んだんだ。忍べるように。本当はダメなんだが、特別にな。正直言って、私は君ら審問官に良い印象を持っていなかった。だがこんな壮絶な仕事だとは。今は私も彼女のために祈らせてくれ。
That's some straight up kung fu treachery right here, man. Like, and then like I'm wondering, like, because like with Nowak's demeanor, it's hard to really he has the term of what you would know as a poker face. So I'm wondering, just what is he feeling? What is his thoughts? Did Jolenta get to him in time and already kind of gave him the heads up? Did he really believe that she burned? What is his next action going to be? Antoni, and then the film says, smiled on. I'm going to pray for you, man. I push him in that damn fire, bro. Ooh, 10 years earlier. We're going back. Ooh, to Raffle around that time.
ただいま、ヨレンタ。今日もずっと文字の勉強してたのか？偉いね。どうした？浮かない顔して。
これちゃんとできてるかわからないけど。
今日もみんなと神様のためにお仕事ありがとうございます。この手紙、父さんのために？
What's going on with my ear and stuff on my PC, man? I need y'all. Can y'all give me like some tips and pointers? Like, why is it doing this to me?
はい。やっぱり字が下手ですか？
なんて優しい子だ。これ以上ない素敵な字だよ。父さんもその勤勉さを見習わなきゃな。
やった。
You see that glimmer too, like I know this is like a minute detail, but you see the glimmer in Nowak's eyes prior to before, like it was always like, it was just very bland, empty, hollow, or just, you're just following, or you're very devoted to a point, as what someone mentioned in the comments, and thank you, by the way. But you see the life of like, being a father and walking around, and now this even explains, because I wondered, as far as like with her hands, like what was the deal, why the gloves, and we get a little bit more of a backdrop or a little bit more of understanding both between Jolenta and Nowak himself.
本当ですか？
まあ、1週間後には届くよ。お前にぴったりな手袋を注文した。やったー！一流の職人に頼んだんだ。これで冬も凍えずに勉強できるよ。
ありがとうございます、お父様。
いや、その言葉は私にじゃない。神様がお前にそういう運命を与えてくださったんだ。だから嬉しいことがあったら、まず神様に感謝するんだ。いいね。
はい。神様、ありがとうございます。
すまない、ヨレンタ。機嫌を直してくれないか。
だってお父様が嘘ついたんですもん。私にぴったりの手袋をくれるって言ったのに、大きさが全然違うんだもん。
嘘をついたわけじゃないんだ。どこかで注文が行き違って、本当にすまない。どうにか埋め合わせするから頼む。この件は誰も悪くないんだよ。お前を傷つけようとしたわけじゃない。
じゃあ神様が。
Wow, if we could see more compassion from Nowak in other situations,
悪い。
お
い、今なんて。
だってお父様が言ってた。神様が私にこういう運命を与えたって。だから神様が悪い。
撤回しなさい。今すぐに。許されない発言だぞ。
Sorry, getting a little, from my work, I'm very zealous in what I do, so, sorry, just got a little PTS, a little flashback. Continue, Jolenta. Don't worry, you'll grow into those at some point.
もういい。少し頭を冷やしなさい。
That explains even more why he was a little bit more stern with her, like as far as once the 10 years had passed and we get a little glimpse and it alludes to that being Nowak. Of course, it's revealed there that, of course, he's the father, but like why he gave her that speech before she went to where she was to Piast. And what was it, Colby at the time, who took over her writing and her research.
私はなんてこと。何をあんなに強く言うことがあるんだ。ひどいじ ゃないか。いえ、しかし、信仰を教えることこそが最も優先されるべきで。でも、目の前に泣いてる子供がいるのに、寄り添う以上に優先されることなんて。
I like this piece too, cause like it shows the conflict and of course like through the religion, the studies, the teachings, how to follow, the guidance and the practices, yet also you have a separate practice too, and that is of being a parent, and in this case him being a father, separate from him also being, being a mercenary, and it's like he's juggling in between all these, and picking certain masks or certain personas or certain criteria or certain rules for certain situations. But then it's like trying to implement these to Jolenta, and there's the contradiction, and even like the contradiction even like within himself, because in his heart of hearts he wants to do right by her, he wants to make her happy, and he was really, he felt bad that he couldn't get her the gloves, like, and clearly he didn't do that on purpose. But then it was like that part of him that came out due to like dealing with different heretics and stuff like that. So it's like, and yet this is your daughter, so it's like differentiate between like, her as of quote unquote actually being a heretic to just simply just saying something that was a little bit out of pocket, to how to discipline, how to love. Should I be more into implementing faith over the comforting and the parenting side of myself, which we see that even in that fast forward, and it just showed his hand, and he was like, just keep your head down, don't do this, don't do that, like more stern on just doing what's right, just in order for like survival based.
ヨレンタ。
ごめんなさい。お父様は神様のために毎日お仕事してくれてるのに、神様が悪いって言っちゃってごめんなさい。ほら、この手袋だって、こうすればつけられ。
本当にすまなかった。この頃から私をどうか許してくれ。
それじゃあ行ってきます。
And there's so many modes to having those gloves, and like so many thoughts run through my head. Of course, to mess with him, to convince him, of course, that she's dead. But then that also could be proof of evidence of any affiliation. Of course, that's her father, but like, why do you have those gloves per se?
Why
y'all got me watch this episode, man? I kind of like had a love and hate. That's like I already like, he's like a cool character in of himself, and it's kind of like, damn, he getting caught. Like it's like your favorite enemy or so. Like, damn, he caught it. But it's like, damn, this brings like another part of Nowak that we don't really get a chance, or we didn't get a chance to see it, of course, of how it was led up to. But then like to see him break down like that. And it was like at that instance, like him holding that glove was the same moment of like when he first gave her those gloves, and then how he felt conflicted at that time, wondering, how to reprimand. Was his reprimanding proper or appropriate? Then he opens up the door and she's like, look, I figured out how to do it. And you know what? No, it's nobody's fault. It's not God's fault. And like, you see him break down right in front of her like that. And then to see him in that same position almost even now. Like, very interesting.
起きるなんて。ああ、生きてて初めてだ。道理で最近見ないと思ったら、バデーニさんが異端として処刑されたとは。私たちが寝てるうちに戦闘してたんだろ、すぐそこで。まったく恐ろしい話だ。クラボフスキさんから見て不審な行動はあったんですか？おお、そいつは気になる。
いや、なんというか、全体的に不審な行動だらけで逆に取り立てでは。
ああ、そういやそうだ。見るからに怪しかったしな。あの眼帯姿、恐ろしかった。しかし、こんな村から異端が出るなんて、一体誰が気づいたんだい？それが匿名で通報があったんだと。おお、その誰かさんには感謝しなきゃな。おかげで夜もぐっすり寝られる。あれ？そういえば最近クラボフスキさん通報を入れたとか言ってませんでした？
ええ、半年前隣町の図書館へ行ったら道に本が落ちてて。何か
That's right, he found that book.
かと思って中を見たら暗号だらけで、怪しいと思って数ヶ月かけて解読したら、本の後半に異端思想と取れる内容が。でもそれは隣町での話です。バデーニさんとは無関係ですよ。
なんだ。
And I was about to say, because I was kind of suspect of Grabowski, but he actually seemed more inquiring and actually related to a lot of what Badeni was going after in his overall beliefs. And something somebody said, which we did see that growth, because at one point, like, Badeni wouldn't talk and like he was very like self-centered, but then you see him start to open up more and more towards the end.
そうですか。
バデーニさん、処刑理由は異端的だったため、それだけ。不可解なほど単純だが、まさか研究内容が関わって。だとしたら何の研究を？それに、もし彼がどこにも研究を書き残してないとしたら、彼自身の研究も彼に至る歴史全ても消失することになる。もし万が一私の通報が原因だとしたら、私は。いや、ありえない。たとえそうだとしても、あの通報内容で極刑はないだろう。さすがに。
It was that necklace, man. Because Nowak knew. He remembered where that came from.
なんだこれ。手紙？差出人名なし。ルクレティウスの死。ではルクレティウスは読んだことあります？あのエピクロス主義者の。
ええ、まあ。
読んだことがあるのなら、どんな内容かぜひ一節だけでも。
お断りします。
まさかこの手紙。以上の詩は私が思い出せる限りのルクレティウスである。断片的かつ走り書きのため正確さはない。あしからず。さて、ルクレティウスと引き換えに一つ頼みがある。
それは、そちらに貧民が訪ねてきたら応対してほしいということだ。あなたがこの頼みを聞く可能性は低いと思う。あなたに得はないし、私に人望もない。頼みを聞き入れてもらう方法がない。だから、これは我ながら効力のない言葉だと思うが、 心からお願いします。推進。これは本題と無関係かつさまつな割に面倒で申し訳ない頼みなのだが、よろしければ貧民たちに何か教育を与えていただきたい。以上。
That bit, that influence from Oxy did that to him. And I like that more, because, like, there was always good in Badeni, and he was always curious, but after being scarred, after being ridiculed, you know, it just caused, like, a big isolation for him. And yet you still had people like Grabowski and a few others who just, like, you know, they still cared, they still, but, like, he couldn't reciprocate that or really bring himself to do those things. Even when he originally started, he was like, I have no intentions, and he pretty much was like, I have no intentions of sharing. But stuff even too that person in the comment had said, which too, by the way, I appreciate that too, was but he did change up, and it's like you get to see that, and it's like even in the end, you know, even after his passing, what he is requesting or asking to do, and even when he prayed for Oxy before that fight, like, I don't know, it just hit real hard at that moment, and it's like, I think that's probably the first gesture or something that he really authentically or just truly did in a long time. Like everything else, like, I mean, he still did it, but it was like, it was an autopilot. It was an, you know, just going through the motions, but it was like a reason behind it now. It was more meaning behind it.
私は今、ルクレティウスという1500年前もの人物の死を目にしている。なぜならこうやって伝え、書き残した人間がいるからだ。では、もし仮にバデーニさんの研究がどこかにか細く生きていて、それは伝え、書き残されるべきものだとしたら。いや、どうせ異端思想なんだ。消えても当然だ。むしろその方がいい。
おい、髪を結んだあいつとうとう来なくなった。だからパンもらえない。
はあ、神はとうとう俺らを見放した。
いや、俺は前約束をした。約束？目に変なのつけたやつと約束した。
金色の髪のあいつか。
そうだ、あいつ言ってた。何の連絡もなくパンを渡さなくなって1ヶ月経ったらある場所へ行けって。
ある場所？
そこへ行ったらまたパンもらえるかも。
ああ、それはいい。パンが欲しい。賛成だ。
いや、待て。これは罠かもしれない。だってあいつはパンと引き換えに俺たちの頭にあんなことをした。確かにあいつの考えはわからない。
ああ、危ない。信じられない。やめよ
う。でも髪を結んでた方はいつも優しかった。
Talk about Oxy.
隣町からわざわざいらしたそうですが、私に何かご用で。
あんたか。目に変なのつけた人があんたをふさわしいって言ってた。
目に変なの？やはりあの手紙はバデーニさんの。
ついてきてほしい。
いや、それは。
貧民が訪ねてきたら応対してほしい。
わかりました。案内お願いします。 まだなんですか？
この下だ。
ここは
目に変なのつけたやつ、俺たちのことを本だと言ってた。
本？
ちょっと！お前が1ページ目って言われた。
Oh wow!
何を？
Oh, that's some slick shit right there. That reminds me of like to anybody, I don't know if you ever watched Rush Hour 3, when they were trying to figure out who was Shai Shin. They didn't know who this person was, if it was just a document, if it was and all the information of all the people was being attached to the one skull, and essentially that they did this.
文字の入れ墨。
That's so smart. Until you take off your hoodies or they ask you to remove your hood, please. Like, hey, you're bald. Like, oh, damn.
全部で60ページある。そもそも本ってなんだ？あと、髪切ったら伸びるまで帽子かぶれと言われたけど、なんでだ？
私の。
クラボフスキさん、そういう世界を変えるために何が必要だと思いますか？知です。
私の番なのか。
That's interesting. So now we know the torch is officially passed. Grabowski, he's going to be the one to carry on everything and to carry that information. Very creative and very foresight. Interesting foresight for Badeni to perform something like that. That way, that makes sure everything is taken care of, that his legacy will still live on, and it's actually living through actual living people at this point. And to have them cut their hair, do that, and then even the symbolizes, you know, in their study where they actually have to cut the hair to reveal it, was also very fitting. And Grabowski, because he was always inquiring, and yet Badeni was just kind of, you know, he was just to himself. He didn't really say too much, but you get to know a bit more about Badeni towards the end. And deep down inside, like and I appreciate the thought that was in that comment, and I really want to know what you guys think. Please let me know. But it really revealed a deeper aspect of Badeni that we didn't get a chance on the surface to see, and it took a handful of people to really like see past it, but to see the good that was within him, even his consideration, even the fact which was brought up that he never did tell or reveal Jolenta, which he didn't. It just so happened that some of the people who happened to be around saw and told, which led to them inquiring to her, to Antoni finding out, going through this whole process, torturing her escaping, and then one of them dying. But you get to see that side of Badeni, and then I like what they did for Nowak, because it really dove deeper to his character, and it showed a very vulnerable side to him as well. And despite everything, because there's so many different angles, so many different, you know, sides to it all. You know, on one truth, he could be a sadistic son of a bitch when he needs to be, but then at the same time, he was also doing it because of his belief system and his cause, and he is a human being and then a father nonetheless. And to think possibly that your daughter may have been killed, I I can only imagine what that's doing to him. Them leaving him with the gloves, which I'm kind of skeptical about that, because I'm like, how do you get the gloves? How'd you obtain it? Like, you wasn't even there, or maybe they were at your house. So it's like, I don't trust Antoni. I don't know what he got planned, and it's going to be crazy to see what he's got cooked. To everybody, if you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, share the channel on all social media platforms, online, offline, to your friends, family, fellow content creators, reactors, and streamers alike. To anybody that has suggestions too on other anime reactions to do, whether it's stuff that we've completely not had a chance to do for the channel, or if you guys want to inquire about, animes that I've seen before, and if you want to step back into some nostalgia, we're actually doing a nostalgia or for a Dragon Ball Z, going back to my childhood and rewatching it all over again. I even had people suggest us to do Death Note, which we did a few episodes, so if anybody even has some old school stuff for us to revisit, please let us know. All that in the comments below. Until the next video and streams.